beautiful day. Hashtag Team All Blade and hashtag No Blade Left Behind. I'm saying it today and I'm bringing it. Subie smiles to all of you and squad goals. Thank you so much for clicking into our shave video and for joining me. I am absolutely over the moon to have you here today. Hopefully wherever you're watching from, you're drinking on something delicious and you're sitting in a comfy chair. Will it on in and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I truly am. I have so much appreciation for every one of you that take time out of your day to spend it with me on a shave. I am thrilled to have you here. Today we are talking about two razors specifically and the full razor lineup from the Shield Razor Company. I have been asked now probably 10 times, at least in private messages, if I will come out and talk about the things going on with the Shield razors, right? Right now in my hand, we have the SE2, as it is now referred to it as, and the Avenger, which is the brand new model. Now, this was originally titled the Avenger, and now this is the Avenger. There's a bunch of confusion and a bunch of questions that are coming to our channel and to my inbox, right? About the two razors, how they shave, if they're offered by the same person, what's the story, what's the history behind these two Artist Club razors? Which one should you buy, right? That's what I've been asked that question a bunch of times. Which razor do you opt for? They're both using Artist Club razor blades, both in titanium GR5 single edge razors, right? For SE Timber, we got to do it for SE Timber. But on top of that, right, this one on my right here, the SE2 as it's now titled, is being removed. They are no longer going to be offering this, and I do want to call it out. This one, the one they are going to be making from now on, the Avenger, right? This razor right here is only going to be offered from now on in a matte satin coated product. They're no longer going to offer in a satin polish. A high visibility, high res polish. Here's the thing: is this razor came in a satin finish, right? And I spent the last couple of days removing it. So now we've got two razors we can actually compare apples to apples in a polished format. Now, again, I talked to Mike directly today. He is going to stop producing razors in a polished finish. And so these ones that are polished by Mike are kind of cool because they're not going to be offered anymore. Again, we're going to talk about it fully in depth. Thank you for being here. Again, we're going to go through, we're going to talk about some of the things that they're doing on their side, some of the things and why you're seeing price discrepancies from different brands. We're going to go into, I promise, I hope I'm helping anybody out there with questions about the Shield Artist Club and the Shield razor lineup in general. Oh, it's going to be awesome. I got to take a moment here, take a pause, give me a timeout, grab some tape and pull it over. I want to give Lee a shout out. Anybody that saw the pictures knows and has seen this came in the mail, but you don't know the history behind it, right? I got a random package. I didn't know what it was. It was just a box next to the door. I opened it up kind of confused because I knew I hadn't bought anything. And I'm sitting there and I see this right here, marshmallows only. I got such a good chuckle out of this, right? That is our signature phrase on a package, right? Marshmallows only. That's my favorite kind of way to shave, right? When it's so good, it's like getting rid of all the healthy stuff and all you're getting is the sugary stuff, right? And they released a box like that and Lee sent it to me. So I want to take a moment and just to thank everybody for out there for, mentioning, happy birthday that came out. My birthday was last week and I had so many people reach out and say, happy birthday. I'm here to support you. Have a wonderful day even. It was awesome. And I just want to express my gratitude and appreciation for every single one of you out there that are showing me the love and that took time out of your day to celebrate mine. Thank you so much. Oh, it was really awesome. Speaking of awesome, let's talk about it. The forehead. And I was trying to do this. I don't know if you guys got it. I was trying to hide my face, right? But this is the forehead. Now, when I was taking photos of this, right, I was like, actually, those photos slap pretty hard, even though it's just a picture of a forehead. Now, this is JMac, right? This is soap and kind of made by Shannons. That's really for JMac. It's really to, advocate and showcase the JMac way of things. And the scent profile on this kind of is also to attribute to JMac. It is kind of based on a drunken, as I've heard and read, drunken Canadian, a sophisticated drunken Canadian, if you will. Smells nice to me. You get this interesting kind of two different scents, if you ask me. I feel like it's two different scents trying to do different things. You've got your bergamot, you got your oak moss, and sandalwood. Now, here's the thing, is the sandalwood for me is more prominent, and it's really, really up front on the soap, right? I smelled this up front and I said, oh, it's a very sandalwood heavy scent. But as you lather it, you get this intoxicating, very inviting, very complex version of the tonka bean, whiskey, and amber. The amber produces this very sweet scent. The tobacco gives it a smoky scent, and then you get this whiskey, right? For the boozy, that slaps. But then it kind of has this other scent playing in there with it, which is the bergamot, and you got this oak moss and the sandalwood. The scent, that makes it smell clean and not gourmand. So when I heard this and I read the description, I thought to myself, that's going to be a gourmand. I don't think this is a gourmand scent for me. It smells like the whiskey note at the end of the scent. So you've already digested and ingested all of the other notes like the sandalwood, the bergamot, and the oak moss. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying if you're buying this thinking you're going to get like really, really boozy scents, it's not as boozy as you would hope or want if you were looking for that specifically. But I do think, right, it is an interesting, complex scent overall, and it's one that I think that if you're a person that is anti-gourmand, you're gonna like this. I think it's gonna kind of play on the same kind of note in the palate, but at the same time the chorus you get from the other things make it smell just really complex and inviting, and I do think it kind of strays away from being gourmand, even though that boozy note is there. Really like this one. Again, this was sent to us by Jason over at TRC. Come on, we got to thank Jason, give him a shout out. And Shannons, talk about a lather. This is their new base, from what I understand. This is the Chupacabra base. Anything you got Chupacabra on there, come on, how can you go wrong? It smells really nice, and it whipped up beautifully with our Mojo shaving shave brush. Love this one again from Gary over at Mojo. Let's do a shave. Let's do a shave. Again, huge thanks again to everybody that makes this place special and that makes time for this channel. I really do appreciate you. You're the reason why this channel continues to do things. I would not keep this up if it weren't for all of you out there supporting and cheering me on. So thank you again for everybody out there. Again, these are the 2 Artist Club razors being offered by Mike over at Shield. This is interesting. This razor right here was developed early on when Mike was designing razors. It was one of his kind of staple offerings. And Mike originally, very, very early on, he started with the Body Razor Company, right? He was having them do the distribution, the manufacturing, and kind of helping him with getting things sent out, while he did like all the work and design and kind of also worked with the manufacturer. They're kind of going back and forth. They were doing shipping. Mike told me he did that with Body because he didn't have the time to build a full entire brand, right? He's just manufacturing, making razors, and it's a lot of work, and especially getting it, international, all that kind of stuff if you don't have distribution. So he went to them. He was having them work with him. They said, hey, can you send us over to your manufacturer? We'd love to meet with them, kind of figure some things out. From there, somewhere in the course of 6 months, they decided to put their brand here. So if you're over on Body's website, you will see a Body stamp. It's no longer Shield stamped, and it's being produced underneath Body, period. No Mike. They was completely removed from the picture. Well, over the course of the 6 months, Mike starts making updates. These razors continue to be produced underneath the Body name, right? Under the Body stamp. So you will still see these for like $130. Phil has these over on his website. They are stamped Shield, right? So we have to go into that as well. There are some older models on the market that are like $130, $150. Well, Mike recently decided he likes this version and variant better, smoother, closer shaver, and on top of that, he likes the head, right? He mentioned he likes some of the innovation on this head. So this one is being discontinued. Now, if you love this razor, you like the shape of it, you like the form factor of it, it does shave extremely well. I love this razor. It was one of my favorite ones in the Artist Club category. It doesn't bind up blades. It has a nice setting to set the blade on it. And when you get it backwards, I made sure to show both razors when I load them backwards. I did load them intentionally backwards so you could see kind of what that looks like and how easy it is to identify. Some other razors on the market are a little harder to see. These two are easy to see when you've assembled them backwards. So great, beautiful razors. Again, if you like this, it is no longer going to be produced at all. It's being discontinued, and I have to mention it. It's a huge loss in my opinion. This is also being discontinued. This is his Predator razor. It's the Gem Titanium razor that I blowtorched, right? We were all here for it. I did it super sketchy. We blowtorched this beautiful razor. It is a titanium gem razor. Now, I mentioned that because in the modern market, there's not a whole lot of these at all, period. Get out of here. Like, if you're looking for a titanium gem razor produced modernly, good luck. Good luck. And if you find one, it's going to be a Wolfman. You're going to pay a fortune for it, especially since they did those in such limited quantities, right? This right here was mass produced for a while. He was making quite a few of them. And from what I understand is that he's eliminating some of the models to make it more streamlined as a company. And because of that, he's removing this one completely from his lineup. this razor will not continue, and they are selling them at a discount. And from what I understand, there was only like 6 or 7 left in the store. So I am really sad. It was my go-to gem offering when I recommended a modern gem to people. I always recommend this over the Blackland Sabre, even though the Sabre is a fantastic shaver, because I like the weight of this and I like the head cap design. He actually intentionally designed this razor without blade tab corners, as you can see, but it protects your skin regardless by his design. Love this razor. Now, my buddy Jim, huge shout out to my guy, Jim Seller. Love this guy. Just did a very lengthy discussion about the Sabre versus this razor. And ultimately, he chose the Sabre, but he said this one was more aggressive. I would agree. I think this razor falls more on the level 2 plate, if not like a level 2 plate shimmed up slightly. This is efficient. For me, it's a very efficient but smooth razor. I like this better. I like the handle on this a whole lot better, and I like the form of it a lot better. And it's no longer going to be made. So if you see one on a wet shaving website or something and it's being listed as discontinued, or something like somebody's looking to trade one, may want to swoop it up because they are no longer going to be offered, made, or produced, period. I think it's really sad. I love this razor, and I love that it was a titanium gem razor with a nice ergonomic handle. Kind of sad, just so everybody knows, this is being removed. The other thing that Mike is going to do, and we're going to switch this up, we're going to start shaving so I don't just take up all your day. Another thing Mike is doing is he is going to switch over to the Cherry-Coat. So he is going to a solely matte kind of offering. His lineup will be fully matte razors. He will not offer anything in polished, which again is his is just to make things faster, smoother. For me, I like the polished version, so I did polish mine. Now he is not necessarily a fan that I polish. I wouldn't say that Mike's like doing jumping jacks over there, but I like razors that are polished, so I did remove the satin version on mine, and it just shaves so darn good. Look at this. So this is the new one. And I had a bunch of people reach out and say, where do I get it? It is sold out currently. And what he told me is he is working on producing more. He said he actually underestimated the amount of purchase orders that were going to be made, and did not manufacture enough for the amount of response that he got. Now, I think the reason why is because when you look at this razor versus the V2, SE2 as it's now referred to as, right? The SE2 razor, when you sit them side by side, I think a lot of people see the size of this and they get turned off. Whereas this smaller, thinner, lighter, right? This razor is about 2 times as heavy as this razor. This, I think, is what more people are looking for when they gravitate towards a very efficient, sharp, ultra laser level lightsaber shaver, right? I like this. It's very dynamic, it's very nimble, and it provides absolute accuracy for where the blade is to the head. I love this. As you can see, I was able to go with that straight line very easily, and I think that's what makes this razor one of the ones that I will continue to pick up every single time I'm using Artist Club Shave. Now, there's a lot of brands out there right now that are offering 3-piece razors that are stainless or Artist Club. There's quite a few of them now, actually. It's surprising because that wasn't always the case, but we're seeing more and more of them. Even Yachi's now picking one, starting to make them and manufacture them. We're seeing more and more as the years continue, but when we talk about them in titanium, lot fewer, right? And this is titanium done well. They got the tolerances, the specs. The screw is really nice and smooth. It's buttery on this model. Love this razor. And again, what a shaver. Now, as you can see on the cheeks, you can see here, this side that I use this razor is actually closer. It's more comfortable to the touch. I can tell a difference between the 2 razors that shaved. I think his older variation, it could be the weight, it could be the heft, it could just be the size of it as I'm shaving with it. You can see here, slightly more like nicks, irritation. They usually, like with Artist Club blades, if I press at all, they bite. This one on this side today with this razor was a little more aggressive than my skin tended to like, whereas this one right here was super mild and very easy. I mean, it's a big difference, right? You guys can see the difference. There is a difference on my neck. Cheeks, I feel like it was actually closer on this side, surprisingly, with less irritation. Now, I'm not saying this razor, the new one, the SE2, is bad at all. It's actually the razor that I picked up over other razors on the market when it came to shaving. But it is efficient, and for me, if I press even slightly, if I use bad form, today I must have used slightly worse form than I did usually, right? It will bite. Now, I've reviewed this razor several times, and I just want to get it out there for people out there looking at this razor and considering purchasing one or the other. I personally, if I had to choose between the two, just this shave alone, I would choose the new one. I like the head on it just a little bit better. I like the nimbleness to it a little bit better. And it just felt really friendly on the skin. I think the lightness plays into a factor there. I don't think it's a tolerance problem. I don't think this one doesn't have tons more blade fill. And when you actually compare the specs, right? Some of you out there right now are saying, let's compare the specs, Subie. Let's check it out and see how they stack up. They're very similar, right? They're actually super duper similar. But when it comes down to performance, side by side, I think there is a difference. And I am noticing a difference. Now, he mentioned to me privately that both razors, right, are more medium efficient. But he said that he felt like this one was a little bit more aggressive than people tended to like. And I think that's been the case. Right? I've had a lot of people reach out and say, I purchased this. I'm going back to the Vector. It was a little too aggressive for my skin. Right? It has some bite to it. It has some kick. It has some bite. And if you're not super ultra careful with it, it does create nicks. Now, I do like the razor. I like the way it disassembles. I think that when you actually go to disassemble and pull a blade out, it does absolutely no issues breaking down. And I actually really like that. I thought this razor was a step up as far as aggressiveness compared to the Hawk A plate, right? The Hawk A plate has less efficiency for me than this razor does, which is give you something to kind of compare it to. But the Claymore was way more aggressive, way more blade fill, and a lot less smooth than this razor. So I liked this one. It was like a more in-between razor. But now that I have the two to kind of compare side by side, I think this one right here is the one that I would want to pick up on the daily. Again, this is sold out, and the V2, I keep calling it the V2, but it's really not. It's the SE2, right? That one is still available over on Phil Bulgoose's website, right? So originally, Mike was actually sending and selling through Bulgoose. So Bulgoose still has a pretty good amount of inventory of these original Avengers, because they're no longer called Avengers, right? Rather than calling the new ones like a version 2 or something, it's not titled that way, right? It's kind of confusing when you sit down and you side by side them. They kind of have the similar same, like it has the same name with the new model. So there's no delineation between this one and the old one. They're both the Avenger now, right? They're both the Avenger. They do not shave the same. They are not the same razor. And when you talk about post-shave comfort, closeness, for me, I get a closer, more enjoyable shave with the new version. Again, that is for me. But when I really stack them up side by side, I like this side just a little less. To be perfectly honest, just a little bit less. I can feel it. We're going to get lathered up again. We're going to do a cross pass on the dome, and we're going to see if we can pull anything off of either side. I know you're excited. I'm excited to do it with you. Come with me. I'll be right back. We're all lathered up and ready to do some cross passes. I'm grabbing the new Avenger, the lighter, smaller headed, very nimble Artist Club. And again, we're using Kai Captain Pinks. They are a mild blade, so you can definitely amp these up. For me, the Kai Captain Pinks maintain the efficiency while being the smoothest blade on the market for me. Now, I do really like the Kai yellow and black ones, the MG series, but when it comes down to it, blades are going to be super specific for each person, and I try not to talk about it, but I am using the Kai Pinks. Very mild razor. Again, we're not pulling anything off of this side, and I didn't think we would. This side, for me, feels very close. You can see it. Just take that lather right off. Really easy to use. We don't have any nicks, no problems around the mole areas. Really easy razor to pick up extra stubble with. I would have no problems doing a cross pass with this razor. The other one, I'm a little more apprehensive to do the battle pass with, just because I know how efficient that razor is. And my skin today is just like, we need a little less bite. This for me, for today's skin condition, this is sweet. I love this one. I think this is fantastic. I can see where Mike has said the community is asking him for more mild razors. I think this is the step in the right direction. I love this. Come on. Get out of here. Look at this. And it's under $100. This is a full GR5 under $100. It's awesome. It shaves phenomenally. No, we didn't get anything off of that side, but it's really good and comfortable. This is the one I'm like, oh, I don't know. This is going to be more interesting. For sure. Oh, yeah. I can definitely feel that this razor is just giving me grief today. It's like it knows that I'm using the other one. It's like, how dare you put me down? I like this razor a lot, but it definitely falls on the more aggressive. I would definitely say this falls as a more aggressive razor. Again, that's for me, but my skin, sometimes it's picky. And today, it is just telling me this razor maybe too much club for the amount of stubble I have. I'm on 24 hours, so I definitely am not shaving with a ton of growth. And for me, this is a razor I pick up minimum 46 hours, really 2 days. I did not get anything off, but I felt like this area over here, I did not like that one pass. I can tell you that the first little bit on the skin, I was like, oh, I don't know if I love it. And that's kind of how I feel about the two when you set them side by side. The other one just is very mild and very easy to use. The nimbleness to that small head. Now, if you look here, we did probably get some, you see that right there? It's a little bit. I feel like this is a closer shaver. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's 100% my opinions as far as the back-to-back shave. But when it comes to the closeness post-shave, I like this feel better. It feels equally close, even though the shave tells me differently, right? The razor tells me differently. I don't care. I like that one more. The new one just feels a little bit more mild. It feels a little bit more blade friendly. And I feel like it's angle friendly. Whereas this one feels like it's at a different angle slightly. Again, that's my opinion here. Keep that in mind. And as you're doing your research and doing your shopping, make sure you're ordering the right razor, because we now have two different versions of the Avenger floating around. This one's a pretty aggressive razor. This one's not. This one's efficient, but it's milder. This right here is efficient and has blade fill. Know what you have and know what you're looking at before buying. Again, I want to mention that because when you sit them side by side, the specs look very similar. Look at the corners here on this razor. Now look at the corners on this razor. They're more prominent. They're easier to access. I think this razor has some innovations over it compared to this razor, and that's why Mike's discontinuing this one, right? There's a reason why. And you can see here, we just absolutely got a laser level, bone close kind of shave, but the actual post shave, oh yeah. This side, we're gonna grab some alum here. Grabbing a little alum, we will test it out. So everybody has complete transparency. This side, oh yeah, this side, it has a little more burn. I will not even begin to lie. I like that really mild. See, this side is not as happy. I like the milder one. So Mike, for me, I was going to be honest, straight up, face to face, shaver to artisan. I like the new generation a little bit better. That's not to say I wouldn't pick this one up over other competitors' products, but I definitely wouldn't pick it up if I didn't have enough growth, right? If I was going at it with a limited amount of growth, I think I definitely would vote for this one. It's for me. This razor is just very smooth. I think this is one of my favorite ones from Shield, whereas before this was not my favorite razor from Shield. This one was, and it was still aggressive. So he had two pretty aggressive single edge razors, both discontinued. These are both gone. They are now being completely thrown out for this and for the Stomper and for the Defender. Okay, all are receiving awesome marks and they're all mild, medium to mild, right? Razors. So if you want the more aggressive variation, again, I'm going to say it one more time, get it now because it's going to be gone forever, forever, ever. We're grabbing ourselves a little bit of splash here. Oh, awesome stuff. Fantastic. Again, you want to smell like a drunk Canadian, right? But with some class. With some class. Again, definitely Marshmallows only shave on one side of my face. This side for today, not enough growth for the artist color I picked up. I thought that may be the case, but I know that this razor right here will still accommodate a more mild, sensitive skin, whereas this one I think is a little less accommodating. That's, again, my opinion, my perspective. I really do appreciate each and every one of you being here for a longer battle video. I know it was longer, but I think it was worth talking about. I hope I clarified some of the confusion and things about the different models, why we're seeing different models, and the fact that there are price discrepancies, right? These are being discontinued, so they're being sold at a discount by Mike over on AliExpress. But Bull Goose, other companies that were selling these, and Body haven't adjusted their prices for this new model. So that is something to note and be aware of. Again, thank you so much for being here. It was an awesome shave. Huge shout out again to Jason for making this happen today. Oh, it was fantastic. I like this a lot. I just wish the whiskey note was more gourmand. Honestly, I would not mind a little more whiskey, but who wouldn't? All right, let's get a little bit more splash today. It was awesome. It was fantastic. And I can tell you this, it was close. It was really, really close. You can see here, right? Definitely close. Feel every single second of this without just the happiness that comes with this one. I like this. Again, huge shout out. And I'm just saying, if you want the efficiency, this is more the model I would go for. This is not a razor I would discount, right? I would not say don't buy it, right? Especially if you're looking for more bite. But if you're not and you want just a very mellow, easy daily driving razor that uses an RS Club blade, look no further. Awesome razor. Again, huge shout out to Mike for constantly trying to improve himself and the products he puts out. Awesome to see you guys. And until I see you in our next shave, I'm going to get out and enjoy a beautifully BBS one. And I'll see you in our next shave. Soup out.